Welcome, everyone, and a very special welcome to all the institutional partners joining us for today's explainer. We are looking at something completely unique today. It's a globally scalable model from our source material called Almrkaz. Now, to be clear, right out of the gate, this is not just some local community center project. Not at all. It's actually a massive blueprint for a comprehensive real estate and tech play. It's literally designed to completely rethink how local economies function around the entire world. So we're going to dig right into the data, the business plan, and the exact on-the-ground mechanics of how this model proposes to generate unified community growth alongside some very serious returns.
Okay, let's dive into this with a simple yet highly provocative thought experiment straight from the data. What if you could capture the entire economic output of a city district all under one single roof? I mean, just think about the daily spending of thousands of residents. Right now, that capital is totally scattered. If you've ever tried to run 3 different errands in any modern city, you know it's an absolute geographic nightmare, right? The capital just leaks right out of the district. But what if you built a centralized physical and digital ecosystem that just captured all that daily consumer activity, keeping the commerce, the jobs, and the money completely internal? Well, that is the exact premise we're exploring today.
To evaluate this opportunity, here's our roadmap. We'll start with a global community problem, then explore the real estate solution. Next, we'll break down the 8 engines of growth, analyze the unit economics and profitability, and then we'll wrap up with the global expansion strategy and the investor offering. We're taking a rigorous bottom-line approach to this whole thing. Section 1. A global community problem. Why the current district model is failing both people and capital. Because look, across the globe, regardless of the culture or the country, city districts are facing the exact same universal pain points. Services are completely scattered. Residents are traveling miles for sports, learning, healthcare, just basic shopping. And because of this fragmented spending, local economies are incredibly weak. Local shops are struggling to survive, and capital essentially just drains right out of the district like a leaky bucket. On top of that, modern cities are really lacking those central places where communities naturally connect, right? And there's a distinct lack of structured, safe environments for youth. This widespread fragmentation creates a massive gap in the market, a gap that's really just waiting to be solved by a consolidated approach. Which brings us to Section 2, the real estate solution, a scalable physical and digital ecosystem. The source defines Almrkaz as a global network of district-level civic hubs. But, and this is absolutely crucial, notice the key differentiator here. Each one is built on owned land and powered by an independent, unified digital platform. It's so vital to understand that this isn't merely a community center. It's a physical meets digital infrastructure. It is real estate backed, so you're getting that hard asset security while simultaneously operating a highly scalable tech ecosystem that's quite literally designed for a global rollout. Section 3. 8 engines of growth, transforming community services into integrated economic drivers. And this brilliantly illustrates the core operational shift, which is stark. Traditional districts just suffer from scattered services, insanely costly delivery, and capital constantly leaving the area. But the Almrkaz model, it acts as an economic sinkhole in a good way. By unifying 8 core services, offering ultra-fast internal delivery, and running a district-only digital marketplace, the jobs, the commerce, and the capital stay completely localized. The entire model is effectively engineered to capture a district's spending power and just lock it in. So, to pull that off, the physical facility structure relies on 8 universal sections. We're talking everything from religious and language classes to healthcare, modern tech labs, business workspaces, and a whole lot more. What's brilliant about this design is that these sections are globally standardized, which guarantees easy scalability, right? But the specific offerings inside them are adapted locally. This empowers local social and economic growth by creating a daily use, high-retention commercial ecosystem. People aren't just visiting once a month. They are there every single day for completely different, integrated needs.
But here's the thing. The physical space is really only half the equation. The Almrkaz digital platform powers the entire center. This includes a completely district-only online retail marketplace where the local shops can sell directly to residents via an app, generating a 10% commission on sales for the hub. Plus, they run an in-house, super-fast internal delivery network exclusively for that one district. To put that into perspective, this delivery network alone generates an estimated $4,000 to $10,000 a month in pure revenue. It's a highly scalable tech component layered right on top of the physical real estate.
Moving into the engine room now, Section 4, Unit Economics and Profitability, Transparent Financials for Institutional Partners.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the startup cost breakdown looks for a single district hub. The total capex is $3.35 million, but notice how heavily weighted this is towards secure, hard assets. $1 million goes directly to purchasing the 5,000 square meters of land. Another $1.2 million goes straight into construction and interior. That means roughly 2/3 of your entire initial capital expenditure is locked into tangible real estate. You're significantly mitigating risk right from day one.
Once the hub is operational, let's look at the cash flow. A single center utilizes 7 diversified revenue streams. We're talking memberships, retail profit sharing, platform commissions, the whole shebang. All of that generates between $156,000 to $173,000 in total monthly revenue. Against that, you have a highly predictable total monthly operating expense of $130,000, and that covers everything from staff salaries and utilities to IT operations and the delivery team. It models out a very strong, very consistent operational cash flow.
When you annualize those monthly profit margins, the projection shows a yearly profit of between $312,000 and $516,000 per center. That is the bottom line potential for just one single district hub. It's a remarkable figure, especially when you remember that this cash flow is built entirely on top of an owned real estate asset.
So the crucial point is the projected 5-year return on investment. It's a staggering 74% to 125% for a single center, with a break-even point sitting at a very reasonable 6.5 to 10.7 years. When you combine the hard asset security of land ownership with a diverse, tech-enabled recurring revenue model generating this level of return, it makes this a highly attractive institutional bet.
Section 5. Global Expansion Strategy, a multi-phase roadmap to global market penetration.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because the vision presented here goes far beyond a single unit. This is a methodical, fully de-risked path to global scale. Phase 1 focuses on the foundation, launching the flagship center, finalizing the platform, and building out the global HQ. Phase 2 scales nationally, targeting 5 to 10 districts in one country. Phase 3 crosses borders into international expansion, carefully adapting the model to local cultures. And finally, Phase 4 envisions a global network, scaling to 100+ centers worldwide, all governed by unified standards and centralized technology.
And finally, Section 6, the investor offering, partnering in global civic infrastructure.
The source outlines a very comprehensive package for early institutional partners. Investors actually get an ownership stake directly in the land and the building. Plus, they receive profit shares from those 7 diversified revenue streams we just went over. They also gain voting rights and governance, dividends that are directly linked to the global network expansion, and access to all centers worldwide. The whole thing is structured to be a financially aggressive opportunity while remaining incredibly socially impactful for the districts it serves.
We've seen the scalable tech, the rock-solid real estate foundation, and the aggressive profit margins. The source material leaves us with a truly compelling question to end on. Are you ready to invest in the infrastructure that captures the complete economic output of tomorrow's city districts? It is a fascinating model that totally redefines local commerce. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking the big questions.